Complexity actually gets a bit of a leg up. They also know how to play Dust 2 pretty properly, and Nuke is a decider. Well, that's been their second go-to map in most scenarios. So if I'm Complexity, I'm loving how this kind of panned out.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Halvor. I'm very much surprised. I thought that Mouse had every advantage coming into this veto process, especially with the fact that they can absolutely float that overpass. Neither of these teams play overpass, but Complexity were to be the team to bite, and they absolutely did. But this Inferno pick, or not veto, that's worrisome. That's really worrisome.
Yeah, and I suppose that there's several worries, and it's not even just so much as around the headshots in the server. I think when you guys put into perspective of maps, you make it a whole new level of terror. Can we go into any of that, into any more depth?
A level of terror?
Yeah,
I don't know about the level of terror, but I mean,
sounds like a level of terror.
Train is, I expected Train to be popped out from Mousesports. I mean, Mousesports, it's their go-to map, it's their best map, but to see them leaning towards that Dust 2, which is a map that all teams are very proficient on, which is the definition of upset map, it's strange. But I have to imagine Woxic is feeling himself. Rops, he loves Dust 2. He loves to lurk around in those lower B tunnels and find openings in that manner. So maybe Mousesports have put in a lot of work on Dust 2, and they're just feeling really confident.
Speaking of putting in work, Christine, that's what I want to ask the viewer at home to do. Not only to get over on Twitter and use hashtag DHMasters and let us know how you're watching the game or what you're thinking about the game. Hell, maybe you even have some questions for us. We could show those on stream. But I want you in Twitch chat using hashtag Mousesports or hashtag Complexity to let us know who you think is going to win our Twitch poll, because we go to a break, we come back, we have our maps, we have everything we need to get this party started right here at the Dreamhack Masters Spring 2020. We'll be right back, y'all.
the form of Frozen with a smoke. One lurk in apartments might hit all of these rotations here from Mousesports, but the timing is bad. Rops has just moved in, and nice shot. Rops, man, he won't stop. He's on his second. Complexity wanted to go A. Now they have to commit into the stack.
Yeah, it's going to be Frozen and Chris J here to try and hold on to this B bomb site, and they do have a bit of a crossfire. There's this one-way through smoke throwing down. And that's going to give a bit of a gap for Frozen to peek through. Now we have the utility for Complexity. Config looking like he wants to lead the charge, and at 9 points of health, that's quite the risk to run. But maybe not. Yeah, maybe he's just going to shut down Frozen immediately. Chris J can't find anything through the smoke or through the wall, despite his best attempts. And this might be the second round on the board for Complexity. Rops has done a good job of getting it close. But just him left now in the clutch. He would need to ace this in a 1v3.
Yeah, there was so much util for Complexity that they can just go for 2 executes there on B, right? They lose Oboe and Apartments after they throw a volley of utility towards the B bomb site. That close wall smoke and the CT smoke. Mousesports don't do anything. It goes silent. And Complexity, who were going to just back off after throwing those fake util, just recommit. They wait 10, 15 seconds. They wait for Mousesports to start, realizing that Complexity could be anywhere on the map. And then, Coffin, CT, re-smoke down by the second wave, and Complexity just burst into the bomb site. Another strong round for Config with 3 kills. And considering he was put down to 9 in the opening seconds of that round, that's a pretty impressive one for him. Rops, though, big D shots in this one. It doesn't really have too much weight in the round, and Mousesports still won't be buying. So Complexity, a chance to go 3-0 up. Do they realize that, though? Yes, okay, good. But the guns will be bought up. There were a couple of Glocks in play. I was wondering, you don't want to take that risk against a Mousesports who love to put money into these rounds. They've got grenades, they've got util, they've got a MAC-10 on Rops. Certainly a way Mousesports can at least make this round expensive for Complexity. Or even more so.
Ooh. Oboe, his turn now, but will he be ready for just how many players lie in the apartments? Well, actually, they don't. They've actually run on out. They've escaped. The rest of Complexity setting up outside of B, and Mouse, look at this. They have really called for this rotation, one by one. They rotate around towards this B bomb site, and they will have this 4-man stack here. Now, if you're Complexity, you've still got a minute. You don't need to commit to this push just yet. But it feels like they're going to. Oboe's left the apartments, and so giving up all that control means Complexity. They're going to go for this B play. They do check the boost. They do deal with Frozen. Oboe, Poison, and Config all getting kills in a matter of moments. And so this is going to be the round going in favor of Complexity. Rops is going to try and hold on it to a MAC-10.
Yeah, you can see how quickly Complexity tried to run away from Rops there, right? He pushes ult and he gets a kill with that MAC-10 rather, and Complexity immediately on the minimap just sprint away back towards B. And luckily that was empty. There was only Carrigan there for Mousesports. And while Mousesports throw in a full rotation, Blame, I like that entry work, right? He jumps, he checks, not only the close boost, but the second oranges boost and the new box boost very safely. And then he looks towards the CT boost where Frozen sits. Those rounds only really fall apart when you don't check the CT boost inside of the spawn, because a player can let 2 players cross, get all that information, see the bomb, and then take 2, 3 kills at times, even with pistols. It can be so valuable. So big check from Blame. He doesn't let Mousesports get away with that eco round, and now after a couple of bleeders, we're going to have Mousesports finally investing. Even so, Roxix on the AWP, and we're not going to have one yet out for Complexity, so that's certainly going to be exciting to watch. Rob's still taking his MAC-10. I don't blame him. He's looked very warm in the 3 rounds that we've seen him play. Let's see how this MAC-10 works out for him.
Early on, Frozen and Carrigan are certainly looking to extend down the banana a little bit. They really want to try and take over this side of the map. Made him response, and that's going to bring Carrigan down very low in the early stages of this round. Still only Carrigan over here towards B. And that's even as this top banana area has been taken away from Mousesports. You'll see that Woxic on the minimap there is now rotated over into this speedway position. But with no one inside of the A bomb site, Woxic is still, no one inside of the A bomb site looking long. Woxic is still forced to hold speedway, so he's not going to be available on like an instant rotation here. And this means Carrigan, he's got to hold the line because this push looks like it's going to come on through. Woxic has begun to rotate round, and now he meets up with Carrigan and CT.
Nice.
A bit of damage done, but still no kills. And CT control taken here by Complexity. Woxic in this smoke, and he's trying to play around with it, but to no avail. Bomb plant found, and a 4-on-3 in the post plant. Poison. There we go. He does get it eventually. I don't really know how, but he does.
He just taps Harry and hits both shots, and then he just bursts and finishes off the job. Like, what? Okay. Dear, oh dear. Complexity, that's a clean round. That's a 4th found, and that's a free AWP gifted. Obo's even going to drop it. Does he save it, or does he throw it out the map here? Do Complexity want that in this T side? That's a question. He's trying to give it to Poison. Oi, take it. There we go. Finally, we'll pick it up and escape towards a spawn. Complexity go 4-0 up. And I think it's good to see them feeling confident on Inferno, right? This has been a very safe map for Complexity for some while now. They've always picked into it. They've looked really good. They've taken down some of the best teams in the world on this map. And, you know, at the same time, while they've had highs, they've also had lows. Think about the EU minor qualifier that Complexity played in. They lose their BO3, their qualifying BO3 in the 3rd map to Smash on Inferno, a map that Complexity certainly should have won. Map, as said earlier, they've had troubles on online. Right now, those troubles are not apparent. 4-0 up. Rops is almost ecoing with just a deagle. We see Mousesports do this a lot. Chris is commonly a player who does this, just runs a pistol, specifically the deagle, into a rifle round, looking for a free upgrade, trying to save some money. And I kind of like it. The deagle is so powerful right now that, you know, you can't get a value out of it. Blame, he's going to catch Carrigan pushing down. Carrigan didn't realize the logs was controlled. And grenades back for Blame to try and keep Frozen back. He should retreat. No utility towards B. Mousesports 3-on-5 right now. And Complexity don't even need to play aggressive. Look how passive this mid setup is between Rush and Obo. What that will mean is Mousesports can gamble towards B with 3, and that's a really safe call considering how consistently Complexity have executed into this site.
It's a big boy gamble, isn't it? Really is.
Have we had 5 B rounds? I was just trying to, sorry for butting in, Harold. 4 B rounds. Because I was wondering why Mouse doing this stack. It's based off of 4 in a row for Complexity.
Yeah, you fully understand why they've done it, but this bomb has already edged its way out into mid. And Obo, him just holding on to this top mid control, he never heard anything that would have alluded to players being present here. And so they've just slid right into A. For Mousesports, you're bang on, Hugo. It's just been these endless B plays. So they're pretty right in the assumption to just stack this B site. However, in this one instance, Complexity have decided to go towards A, and that is the effect of conditioning your opponents. I think if you're Complexity there, you're kind of anticipating that in this 3-on-5, if you were going to put more bodies towards either bomb site, if you're Mouse, you've only seen B plays, you've only had to worry about B plays, so you're going to do it at B. And they read that, they now go towards A, they'll get this 5th round on the board, and while 3 players stay alive, that's actually all right for Mouse. They get another chance at the buy in this round here and now. It's helped out by Rops only playing the D in this round, so he's able to invest. Chris could drop one over to Carrigan. You get another chance here if you're Mouse, but this is already a great T-side start for Complexity.
Yeah, and I think, you know, for all in-game leaders who like T-side Inferno, the call has got to be there for Blame. He's ready for that round. The Mousesports are going to triple stack B, and he can elevate the pace on A, right? With all these B conditioning rounds, that's always such a good call. I don't know if that will happen in the short term, though, because Mousesports have been taking banana control in these rifle rounds, right? Complexity often defaulting mid and apps, coming back to B later in the round. So it's not like, you know, Mousesports have the need to stack B early, and they're not going to do it. So, yeah, back to another standard round here for Complexity. They've got the AWP on Poison. Woxic flashed out of middle early, can't take that fight, and Poison owns the middle area. Mousesports succeed with a bit of banana utility, but they don't put too much stake in it. They actually hold a double nade setup towards B, throwing it in late, finding nothing. Complexity want that A site, and they will flash their way through middle.
Oh, and Woxic blinded off the angle, not able to connect a shot. Now has to just go through the motions. Backs up to Arch. He goes through each and every little firing position. He'll take a shot here, and now likely fall back and just hold down this angle. He's going to move into Library to keep an eye on Long. Top mid control taken for Complexity, and you can see how resistant Mousesports are to the idea of rotating, right? Just because so many of these rounds have opened up with a bit of mid control taken by Complexity and then falling back into a B play, but that's not looking like the case this time around. There's no one holding on to Banana, and Rops is going to spot the armada of Complexity players over its short side, but it might not matter. The site's already fallen. It's a 4-on-3. Once again, the man advantage for Complexity. And it might just have to be another save call for Mousesports. The old, like, kind of jokey name for these guys on Inferno was Save Sports, because they used to love a save on this map. Well, here they are, Hugo, saving on this map.
Funny how that works, Harry. Worth noting, Mousesports are on a 6-loss streak on Inferno. A map they rarely play anyway, or rarely pick into, is a better way of saying it. And those losses, I mean, some of them, you know, understandable. Against Astralis twice, Fnatic once. Some of them less so. Movie Star Riders, Contact, OG, they got 16-2'd by. So it doesn't bode well for Mousesports in this best-of-3 series to see Inferno come through, especially with, you know, the question mark that the analysts brought up of Dust 2 being the next map. Yes, best map for Mousesports in terms of the numbers, in terms of, you know, maps played and win rate, but Complexity also love that map, and so you're just playing into their favor. Again, we've seen Complexity beat top teams on Dust 2. So, Mousesports, they've been a top team. They've been at the top indeed in 2019. But right now, they've really had their troubles coming into this year, at least after Pro League. Damn, Robson Frozen, clutch kings for the side of Mousesports. Right now, they need anything they can get, but as is often the case on Inferno CT side, you're not going to get many clutches off, because if a bomb gets planted, it's save time. It's jam time for Mousesports, and now they've pulled their investments, they pulled their cash, and they will be buying back up into round number 7. Complexity yet to drop around on this D side, and they have no plans of doing that now.
Oh, that nade does a lot of damage into top mid, but Robs is going to get out of there. He's kind of realized what's coming his way, and Complexity, they have really kicked this round up a notch. Now, in amongst all of this, Woxic's got aggressive into the apartment. Frozen's pushed down the bottom of mid, so Mousesports, they know what's going on. They know what's coming their way, but it's not helped them in the grand scheme. Thankfully, that kill from Woxic and the follow-up has now put it in their advantage, and Mousesports might be about to get their first round here and now. Blame F in the clutch, and he's not able to find Woxic up in the apartments. This fast apps play from the Turkish Orpa yields some results for Mousesports. He's going to put that first round up on the board. Coming back in from deep second mid, he'd gone all the way through the apartments.
Ooh.
That was a sick flick at the end, man. It didn't look that good from Blame F's perspective, but dude, seeing it from Woxic, that was nuts. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
I absolutely, man, like Woxic was always a great AWPer, you know. I absolutely love that he's found success in international lineups towards like this stage of his career. And Carrigan going aggressive down through mid in this round. Actually only good for one. I thought he was going to chain together a little bit more, but somehow Config is just doing a great job of overstaying his welcome down here at Banana. Now there is Chris J hidden close, but Chris J is trapped by that. Oh my goodness! Config only had 2 shots left in the AK, and he puts up the kill. I don't know, man. I wouldn't want to go anywhere near him right now. Config is in scary CS mode. We haven't seen this from him in a while. Look, he's looking for even more. Woxic, don't go around the corner. Please, I beg of you. Config's not in the mood to miss right now. He's on 3, and this 4th has just been delivered to him. On for the ace. Robs is going to go save, so probably not going to give it over. But this is a scary-looking Config. This is a Config that shows up in this server and just dominates. This man does hold the record for kills in regulation. So
For an online map.
yeah.
And what is this, Harry?
An online map.
There you go.
I mean, I guess his is like technically, yeah, like, okay, yeah, online. Yeah, no, wait, that makes sense. But also just the most overall.
Funnily enough, it was the most overall, but you know,
But online, yeah. But LAN is like weighted higher.
The LAN record is 44. That was Crim's at Pro League Finals last year. This is in regulation, I'm pretty sure. And then Config did 47 in Overpass in the Dreamhack. Oh, can't remember which event. I think it was a Dreamhack qualifier. I casted it with Dust. I remember this was years ago. Dreamhack qualifier was Overpass many years ago. He was playing for Optic. So, yeah, 47 kills. That's certainly not bad. And Config, he's looking pretty damn fiery, if I can say so myself. Let's see if he can keep up this appearance here on the T side. 7-1 up, 12-3 on Config. The orbs are indeed about. Chris is going to molly mid, yet to kill. Those grenades are good, though, and they'll put Poison down low. We saw a bit of a mid-push last round from Carrigan. He gets away with one before the punishment was found. Mousesports, they will be bringing aggression, but it's only down Banana. Carrigan very keen once again to take this control, but he will give it up as quickly as he takes it. Not wanting to hang around, knowing how hard holding the Banana can be. And you can already see complexity. They nade logs, they molly it, they're being very careful. They're making sure the Mousesports don't have players deep down this area. Double bait and switch setup on long side with Woxic on the AWP as well. Complexity, though, they are just defaulting towards mid naps. They are more focused on taking B than anything in this round. Rush might give away a kill here in the boiler. There is a player above the Juliet balcony, a good off angle for Rops. The Rush, he ain't falling for it. I rotate back towards a 4 Complexity. They leave Banana. Again, with how fast these rotations can be on Inferno, they can change their hearts and minds at a moment's notice. But right now, Cole are looking like they want that A site. Resmoke for Rops at a good time. He's going to drop with it. Smoke towards short and Complexity. Here they come.
Yeah, it's another one of these long wraps for Complexity. They've been able to get away with a lot of movement over here towards long, and now they look to get in. See, look, there you go. There's the reconsider. They changed their minds. A Moto Smoke has come in, and now they slow right down. And it's curious. They definitely could have tried splitting B, but with no Banana control, they just decide to commit to A, and they try and run the gauntlet here. Rush is going to deal with Rops, but there's only 7 seconds left. This bomb has got to get planted, and it's got to get planted now. Woxic could deny the entire round, and it's the no-scope through the smoke that makes it so. Blame F, even going down after time. That's a little bit devastating there if you're Complexity. Mousesports do a good job at holding onto their utility to just hamstring that play to come down into the final, 10, 15 seconds of the round.
That's a great round for Mousesports, and that's because Complexity have already run it, right? Mousesports are trying to adapt, they're trying to learn on the fly, and these are very weird rounds that Counterstrike Complexity are giving us, right? Like 5-man long rushes, trying to frank Moto to A site. It worked in the past until Woxic shut it down, and Complexity this time it doesn't work either. Mousesports put that Moto smoke at the 20-second mark, and that is everything, right? Complexity can't go through it. They know there could be an AWP hit. They have to go back round, and at that point they get hamstringed for time. Now Mousesports have come alive. What is this? A flawless round so far. Blame alone. Mouse just find 4 kills out of nowhere, and well, you'll take that every day of the week. Blame's going to look for whatever he can get here out of the boiler. He's being held longside by this AWP, so if he goes through this doorway, it should be to his demise.
Oh. I wouldn't want to go out again. I wouldn't want to take that peek again, man. You just, you know who's fired that up. You know who's looking at boiler. Blame F. 1v5, and he does put up the first, but there's the trade swiftly from Frozen. So Mousesports starting to stumble back to their feet with an F, and their third. That's with a TH round on the board. Starting to see a little bit more confidence returning to Mouse, which is good. No longer just hiding back in these bomb sites and kind of giving Complexity the room to work. With that round there, they pick up the pace. It's a little bit worrying. Chris J still yet to frag, but there's always time for this man to turn it around. The nades have been good for Mouse. That's something I think we have to give them credit for, in spite of this very good scoreline for Complexity. They've been able to get away with so much util damage in the opening of these rounds, and this one is no exception. Already 3 players brought down low by these nades. Now, this is a bit of a weird one in the apartments. They're about to start to pressure Woxic, and you're very much reliant on, well, A, him hitting that shot, and B, Rops keeping his eye on Boiler. Now that he's lost Woxic, he's got to concede the halls. He's got to back away. And so this is Apps Control taking for Complexity. Something that's different to note in this round is that in the past, whenever Complexity have gone for these A plays, they've grouped all 5 players up here. And in this round, they haven't done that. Blame F is still waiting down towards T-Ramp and holding for any aggression. So this round right here could just be one of these A fakes with a late play back into B. And that's what it's looking like right now, Hugo.
You read it perfectly, Harry. The smoke on long denies the mid info for Mousesports, but Carrigan is still there. And even though they're a 3A, he's just cleared that position. The smoke's faded. He's running back to B, calling that Mousesports should be ready for a B play. Frozen's dropped his smoke, and now the knowledge is there. Mousesports with almost a full rotation. Great read from Carrigan. Great information gained. Now Complexity, they don't know it, but they're walking into a full setup from Mousesports. Frozen playing close, that smoke fades, here they come, the flash is good, Frozen has to hide at the back of the site, denied by the wall smoke, Config with an entry onto Chris as well. Rush, he's found Carrigan, and Frozen inside of the site on his own can only find Rush. It's a single kill and nothing more. 10 seconds for the plant is enough time for Cole, and Rops won't stop it through the smoke. It's going to be a round for Cole once again, as Mousesports look to save their one weapon. That's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes, even though they stack the site. Complexity, crucial entries, Config with a big opening kill onto Chris, who still remains 0-9, yet to kill. And that's proven to be a bit of a problem for Mousesports.
See, this Complexity squad, I don't know about you, Hugo, but I really like this project, like the whole idea of it, right? I think that Blame F has like the potential to be one of the most exciting stories for like an individual
for sure.
in recent memory. Now, I can't think of a player who, when you think about the experience he had relative to the moves that were made and him going out to NA, right, to like head this juggernaut team as it was labeled, and the kind of moves that came off the back of that. I think it's also interesting, so cool. Like, I can't think of a player who just kind of rose up, didn't really have like the most experience under their belt, and was suddenly just entrusted with like the leadership of a team like this, right? Like, I can't think of anyone in this same position. No. Can you?
And no one is buff either, Harry. That's,
no one looks like Blame F. Yeah. That is like the
most crucial part.
Yeah, man. Well, he's got the brains and the brawn, and very few have both.
Yeah, that is a good point. Obo was 9.
Makes you wonder, what is he lacking? You know, if he's got brains and brawn, got to be something on there that's not going his way.
I don't know. I'm not going to work that one out. Gangnam Style was... Obo was 9 when Gangnam Style was released. That was a stat we just had. That makes me feel very old, Harry. But also...
I mean, how old were you when Gangnam Style
I don't know, not
released?
9. I don't think. Either way, I mean... Very accomplished player for such a young age. Obo, only 16 years old here for Cole, and stuck over in Europe. Harry, as we are both men who are stuck in another country as well. Obviously not another continent, rather, like Rush and Obo, but shout out to them for sticking through the tough times and playing in Europe and playing a lot of CS right now. Complexity. I think that's why they're looking so good. They've been hounding these officials. So, more than well practiced are Cole. 8-3 up against Mousesports in a 3-man A setup. Cole have gone silent on B and come back towards A for a quick execute.
Yeah, looking to pick up the pace and hit him back inside of the site. We're looking at Chris J, Rops, and Carrigan to try and hold the fort. And while they've traded evenly, but they need a little bit more than that out of Chris J now. And he's not able to put up the numbers needed. Still, 0 kills to his name. 0-10 on Chris J, which is a little bit worrying now. Frozen and Woxic left in this 2v3 retake. And it's only Woxic left. This is probably another save here for Mouse. This is a pretty dismal beginning to Inferno. One that just looks to get worse and worse by the round. Woxic, nice shot there onto Poison, looking like he will get away with this AWP at the very, very least. But that's a pretty small consolation prize when you're 9-3 down. Complexity are just running the board, running this game.
it's certainly a grim reminder of where you're at if you're Mouse Sports, right? Like, it's not like you even haven't had rifle rounds. You've had plenty of money. You've been getting away with good saves. You've had Rops ecoing on the Deagle in rifle round, sorry, that's enabled buys. You know, you've had a lot of attempts here if you're Mouse Sports, but Complexity, even when they're going into stacks, even when they're going into 3-man bomb sites, regardless of whether that's A or B, they're seemingly always trading so effectively. I'm loving these executes. The smokes they throw on default on A not only give them the veil to plant the bomb, but allow them to cross and fight pit without having to be killed by a site player. And Mouse Sports, they're running a lot of site plays. Right now, Complexity showing us a masterclass on the T side of Inferno. 9-3 up. AWP for Woxic once more. Poison has got his. The money has been good for Cole, unsurprisingly. Even if that head-to-head on the AWP side has been so favorable for Woxic. I mean, every fight really has been favorable to Woxic.
Ooh, bit of an exchange and config. Okay, yeah, I was worried because like last time we saw him kind of looking good over at Banana.
I had my money on him hitting that second shot.
Yeah,
yeah.
It was getting worrying. Oboe and Rush and the rest of the gang, though. It's not B. That's not where they're looking to end up. Config was nothing more than a walking, talking, fragging decoy. And boy, now the rootin' tootin' shooting Cowboys over at the A-bomb site for Mouse Sports. They'll put this 4th round up on the board and actually keep the majority of players alive. Chris J, welcome to the scoreboard, old friend. 2-10. He puts up some numbers for us now. And that's always nice to see. See, maybe now that it isn't feeling like a 4-on-5, if Chris J can actually, you know, build a bit of confidence, because sometimes that's all it takes, right? Sometimes you just break your little vow of silence, and suddenly it becomes so hard to ever imagine that you were that quiet to begin with, right? So, Chris J, hopefully we can see him return to form, because, you know, I'm a big Chris J fan. I don't know about you. He's been like a long-standing Mouse Sports player now. He's been around the block, and you really love him. Usually pretty consistent within this squad.
That's a big stat. Mouse had over 1,000 utility damage in the first 11 rounds, but only had 3 to their name. I mean, that's this Banana control, right? The amount of work that Karrigan and co have been throwing utility down B, getting great nades on logs. We even saw a great nade from Rops there. Short side hit 3 Cole players. But the util has been good for Mouse Balls. There have been good signs, but Complexity's brute force executes with, you know, 5-man setups, always grouping, never splitting. The only time we see Complexity split in an execute is where they send Config in B and they hit A as a team, and that's fine. Config keeps players there. He often gets a kill as well. So yeah, Cole have been 4 or 5-man grouping in every hit, and that has put them in a great position. Mouse Sports, util down Banana, frees up a rotation if they want, and they might need. Chris spots a close player, good grenade, once again coming through on the short side. It's going to put a bit of damage down the way of that 1 AK, and that's the only armor we have, so Rush has to keep onto that right now. Mouse Sports playing very passive, giving Cole room on long, but only for a bait and switch. Rops getting assists, and Chris and Frozen will pick up the kills. The AWP even fires off, and 1 by 1, Cole are going to fall in this round. Nothing to their name, not a single point of damage, but it was only an eco round with a hero AK. Now they can buy up for the last of the half. And Mouse Sports, they can recover here. The 6 rounds, it's not the end of the world, right? You get a pistol, you convert it, suddenly you're in the same boat as Cole. You're just on the harder side to convert. So let's see what happens here for Mouse Sports. They're still in this game.
Yeah, definitely still recoverable. And, you know, especially with a few key players starting to find their footing. One final hurrah for Complexity. One last investment here in round number 15 as they try and reach double digits before this half reaches its conclusion. And there is an early 3-man stack at B for Mouse. So there's a timing, there's a world in which Complexity kind of beat them to the punch at this A bomb site. Now, Carrigan has already arrived, so he's back in. And alongside him is Frozen. This is because they've set up Woxic with the AWP at Banana. It allows for this 4-man stack. Now, will these 4 players be ready for the sheer speed, the complexity are dishing out in this round? Because they are already in the pit. They are hidden in this wall of smokes. This is such a confusing round, but somehow, some way, Maus are looking to come out on top. Now, whether or not it's going to stay that way, we've got to wait and see, but Rops certainly seems to think so. He's left it all on to Blame F, 1v3, and he can't get it done. Mouse Sports, they recover 6 at the end of the first half. This is still a close affair. Join us for the second in just a moment. Well, we've got a little bit of Mouse Sports taking on complexity here to start our day. And currently, Hugo, as you can see, these Betway odds are split right down the middle. That's because this game is actually feeling a little bit closer now. Now, complexity were kind of blowing Mouse Sports out of the water early on. The Mouse Sports, they've righted their wrongs, and now they move into this T side. They're looking to get back into this game.
Yeah, Blame's been dinked immediately on B. Config is hanging around. He's still here, and there's more utility for Mouse Sports on this pistol, much as there was on the CT side. This time, at least 2 Kevlar players. Cole have 2 more on B, and Mouse Sports, they're going for it. They're committing. Smoke's landing. Could use the same one that Cole used against them on the wall side. Blame F dropping 1 though. Obo here as well. Can't connect a couple of shots. The smoke is providing a bit of cover for Mouse Sports as they fire on through it, hitting the shots and pushing Blame to the back of the bomb site. This is falling apart for Cole. Blame needs to stay alive, but that P250 is lethal, and Rops makes good work with it. Rush on his own, been spotted. Plant can come through, and Mouse Sports at this point, it's a guaranteed round.
Yeah, so this game going to get even closer here with 7 now on the board for Mouse and a pistol going their way. They can look to build upon this to try and tie things up here in this second half. They deal with Rush at the very, very end. And now I'm kind of excited because in the beginning it looked like Mouse Sports. They maybe just woke up on the wrong side of the bed, right? A bit of a classic. It takes you a few rounds to get into the swing of things. And to me, that's kind of even reinforced by the fact that like their utility was great. Their utility usage was unreal. But in terms of the head-to-heads, in terms of actually winning the aim duels, they were just losing them every single time, right? But now it's like, it feels like there's a bit more confidence, there's a bit more consistency on Maus individually. And now this series has some real legs on it to get exciting, to get pretty fun to keep an eye on. And you can see a nade stack in this round for Complexity. Kind of curious what they're looking to do with it. 3 of them over here towards B, and Maus are stacked up towards this side of the map. Config has been flashed into the 9s. He can't see anything at top Banana. Frozen does get tagged in the meantime as he tries to peek around this corner. That there was from the Eagle back here in CT Spawn. So they will decide against that. They bow out from Banana. They back away. And now they have their eyes set over here towards A. Poison and Rush to go up against. And they're already out past Poison. They've already dealt with him. This A site sure is looking tantalizing if you're Carrigan and Co.
Yeah, I love the pace of Mouse Sports on these anti-ecos. Not waiting around, not letting these Deagles get comfortable, just speed. That's the aim of the game here for this T side. Bomb plant should be fine. Blame spots a player on long who didn't see him, but Frozen's not going to turn around anytime soon to give him the battle. So Blame might just be locked out of this round, it seems. No one even giving up a fight. It's only 1 rifle in play, so Mouse Sports want to play it somewhat safe. And, I mean, they're already exiting from the bomb site, apart from Chris, so feeling like this one is a lock-in. Chris is just making sure no one's rifling with the bomb, but Blame spamming with the D, using Chris's favorite trick against him, and he's going to hit the shot. Blame able to escape. He's being hounded down by another rifle. Woxic, oh, he does finish the job. And Mouse Sports, they'll rid the round of the eco. Now just comes 1 more for Complexity before the guns are available on the CT side. Mouse Sports are going to make it 9-9.
And I'm hoping that on this CT side, this is where we can see a bit more from Poison, right? Because he has been like a really exciting prospect to be keeping an eye on. He's another obvious EU import out into NA. Right now, Complexity, they're obviously in EU. Yeah. So that's kind of all flipped on its head. But yeah, he's a hot prospect. He's looked real good on this AWP. And obviously T-side AWPing on Inferno, never fantastic, never too much fun. Let's see what Carrigan the Eagle can do. He's getting a little bit overwhelmed, but he's helped out. Oh, Frozen. These are just pistols from ours. I kind of love it. I love the dedication to running pistols in these rounds.
Just trying to save as much money as possible, right? Like, they had 3 or 4 Mac 10s in that second round. Same story here. Like, not only are you making money, but you're saving money by not spending on rifles that you could easily lose, right? You could very easily die to nade stacks, to USP double dinks, to anything in these rounds. So, Mouseboard's reducing the costs that they have to invest in those risky rounds. And now, as a result, they can run bonus into this. Lack of armor and head armor is a big problem for Complexity in this round, considering there's a Galil and 2 Mac 10s in play.
Yeah, 3 of these players are vulnerable to it. And one of them is that AWP of Poison. He's set up over here towards Arch side with that AWP. So we'll keep him in the back of our minds. We don't have anyone from ours really going towards this A site just yet. So we're going to have to wait and see if that AWP gets to play into this round in a very big way or not. Interesting thing to note here is that Config and Blame F, the 2 players that currently reside in this B bomb site, neither one of them have smokes. So if a B play were to come through, they've got to stop this just on the back of these flashes and straight up gunfights. So that could be a potential liability for Complexity in this round.
A bit of a B-fake by the looks of things, running back out of Banana after throwing util. Carrigan might commit with his close wall smoke as he can get great value out of it, potentially in towards CT spawn if he beats the timing. And Complexity have actually rotated Poison out of long towards CT. Now he can still rotate Library here, but he is peeled away for a brief moment in time. Carrigan's dead on B. That's the fate gone. Mousesports have to commit, and Complexity have not fallen for it. There's still 3 here. Mousesports have gone quiet. This almost feels obvious from this point for Cole, and they have to play very safe indeed. Util going down. Obo, he's not got many kills, but he's got a lot of util. Would be nice to see some of that thrown out. And the Molotov will land after he takes the kill. Poison drops the bomb, and 1 by 1, Mousesports are just falling apart in this round. They have barely any util. They're walking into a stack. The B fake was not even close, and Complexity just hold the line down to find a 10th round. It's a save for Mouse Sports.
Counter-terrorists win. Yeah, and a flawless round for Complexity. Oh, hello. Hey, Rush, how you doing?
We've had this camera for a couple of months now, so it's kind of cool, you know?
I like that they've kept it going. I wonder if he knows that we can see him right now.
I'd imagine so, Harry. Maybe not right this second.
Maybe not right this second. Just he gave us a little charming smile there. I imagine he was looking down the line at the rest of his team.
Yeah, maybe.
But regardless, his timing on that was impeccable.
His team are playing from home. The only people who aren't playing from home are Rush and Obo. They are in Denmark in a facility. So
in a facility.
In a of some sorts.
It sounds so ominous. Chris J out in top mid, and he's opened up onto Rush, who now he's just got to sit back in the facility and watch as Obo tries to pick up the pieces. Poison inside of the site with this orb. We've been waiting for him to get rolling. Let's see it now, Poison. Second kill. There's a man on balcony and Poison not ready, but he does get mopped up there by Obo in the site. Woxic and Frozen left in this 2-on-4. And once again, Mouse Sports, they are set packing from this initial push. This time they've got time going their way. And a nice shot from Frozen has opened up this B bomb site. They've got to pick up the pace though. And no smoke for the cross. They flash over, but Woxic does not survive the journey. Frozen left in this 1v3. He opened up this B-side take with a stellar shot onto Config. Now he's got to continue in that fashion to the very end of the round. There's a deep smoke in CT, and Frozen's trying to keep an eye on it. Two players here make that just one, as Frozen does strike one from the tally. That nade smoke has allowed a man to push up close, and Poison in through the banana will remove it. Complexity, an 11th round on the board. These CT rifles continuing to go their way.
Woxic throws a very high flash into CT on that B cross because Mouse don't have a smoke, and Blame was crouched in CT. That flash misses by a centimeter. It just avoids Blame's vision behind one of the parts of the ruins. And if that hit him, Blame probably wouldn't have got away with a kill. They would have fragged him, and Mousesports might have won that round in a 2-on-2 post plant. So that could have been a very, very different round for Mousesports, but a nice try nonetheless. 11 for Cole on their map pick, back in the lead. Not letting Mousesports equal up the scoreline here. Not again. Up by 2, and no warp here for Mouse. Back to the flat rifles, even a Galil on Frozen. Costs are greatly outweighing the availability, and Flamers dropped a grenade down Banana to throw out Carrigan from the round. That's not the start that Mousesports wanted. Frozen does get the trade at the very least, but all it is a swap of an AK, and Mousesports, they swap the site so they go back towards A. It feels like this T side has somewhat been that. Mousesports' initial plan's not working, and them having to bail to the other bomb site where Complexity are waiting. They certainly are this time. Blame is in CT. We've got Config on the coffins as well, and Mousesports are just going to group with 4 for a full B execute. If they can't win this round, then they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Even though they are a man down, like these are the ones, the BXX with Cole don't have a stack and they're giving you the site. These are the ones Mousesports need to win.
Oh, and this Molotov has already done a great job of denying this B play. It's cut the offensive in half, and everyone's just hung out to dry at Banana. Blame F. Not like he was going to get flashed through there, but actually gets whited by his teammate, falls back, just sets up for the retake. Now, I say retake, that's implying this bomb was ever going to get planted. However, Woxic took it back to Banana and tries to cross now that that smoke has faded. Rop's not even given a bomb plant in this one. And a 1v4 with 15 seconds left feels too good to be true, and that's because it probably is. Robs might just want to think about going down at this point, because he's running the risk of dying after time. Complexity are just holding, knowing that they don't have to peek yet. They swing on him, they give him that one kill, they're trying to get it. And that was literally as the timer hit 0. So I don't know. I don't think Robs did get money.
He has the same money as his team, so either he already had more money or he died before time.
That was so down to the wire that I don't know.
I think he did die before time. I think he was okay. Yeah, Poison right-clicks a flash and spawn. He was meant to flash Flame through the smoke, but it's not the end of the world as Complexity win the round. And Mousesports, smoke's a bit of a problem for them, man. Frozen's already in the site trying to beat the Molotov, but his CT smoke isn't down. And I understand he wants to beat the molly, but he's not looking at CT, and that smoke doesn't pop in time, and Cole kills him before it does. And then boom, Cole are a man up and there's 2 men up, and then the smoke appears. It's like, okay, what can Mousesports even do? Like you said, Woxic, he crosses back to Banana, comes back with a bomb, smoke fades again. Mousesports lose a bomb, they lose a round. So, yeah, I mean, Complexity, kind of having it fed to them at times, it does feel. They'll take this, though. 12-9 up on the CT side. Mousesports have to eco once again. This would certainly be a shame to see Mousesports fall this way. After winning, clawing it back to a decent half and then winning the pistol and getting 9-9. They've been quiet ever since. Mousesports, they are 5 men up in the A site right now. No util to do anything. It's about dry fights, but that's where this AWP is going to be so effective for Poison and on the long side as well. Mousesports look tempted by it. Gonna jump around the corner. Poison hits the first, tries to follow up, but they're getting closer. He can't afford to give them this AWP. He could get, dangerous, but a 2-for-1 attack on the Carrigan, cleaned up by the pistol. Woxic will trade. That's his gun of choice, but Rush doesn't want to let him cross towards it. He will deny it. His teammate now on the site doing that instead. Rush can pivot and look at the apartments. Chris is there, and he's given away his position as well. Woxic with a kill. Still hasn't got that AWP under control. Chris is dead, and Rush denies the pickup of the AWP. Nice stuff from Rush. Doesn't let Woxic get into that round. And of course, Poison with 3 on the AWP. It's going to put Complexity in a nice dominant lead here. 13-9 up on the CT side.
And man, this is a Complexity that mean business right now. Mousesports, this could be their last real attempt at turning this game around. If they don't pick this round up, it might all be out the window. And Poison with some aggression into the apartments. Not something we've seen from him yet. And Rob certainly wasn't ready for it. That is an early man advantage taken. That is untradeable for Mousesports. They try and get the spam damage off as Poison exits through the apartments, but he's already gotten away. This one slipped through the net, whether or not Mousesports are ready or not. And now with this bomb retrieved, they're going to set up over here on Banana. They've completely given up this top mid and apps control. They never even attempted it after Rops has fallen. They try and flash blame F into Banana. Now at the same time, a smoke has fallen at the top of B, but Mousesports, they wasted absolutely no time in pushing through it. And that kill from Carrigan, that felt like a must-have. If they get that one, I feel like Mousesports could take this round because suddenly they've got an avenue into the site. They've got Gompig having to worry about CT and Banana. And with it not coming through, it's now a 3-on-3, but they've at least dealt with config inside of B. So a bomb plant is available to Mouse. They've got a chance. Ugh, it's not pretty.
Run.
You don't love it. And Woxic gets burnt very, very low, leaving the pool. This is still a scary round for Mouse, even with the bomb planted, because Complexity are here. They've been knocking on the door for a while, and they're kind of sick and tired. They're going to brute force their way in.
Yeah, Rush is really late here trying to clear out Banana, and that's why this is taking so long, but they're going to make contact first with Poison. He swapped out the AWP, and so Mousesports don't know Oboe is also here. Rush is spotted, and he gets a kill. Doubles up. Rush just wins the round on his own. No util needed. He has a full kit of util, and he just takes dry fights into B and closes out a retake versus Mousesports. Like, Complexity, they've got to be feeling good right now, because not even having to resort to what are safe plays, what are ways to guarantee rounds. They're just taking fights, Harry. They're just deathmatching, and it works wonderfully. Complexity, 2 away from taking their map pick in this series. Dust 2 is around the corner for Mousesports, but while it's a great Mousesports map, it's a great Complexity map as well. So Mousesports certainly have to be worried, wanting to try and pull this game back here still, but yet to win a T-Rifle round in this game.
Oh, and Poison back again with the aggression. This time he's going to catch Woxic down in ult mid, lining up a smoke no less. Woxic was not ready for that again. This aggression makes matters very complicated now for Mouse, and they spot Rush. They're not quite able to deal with him up in the apartments. This is kind of horrible because Mouse, they clearly had a game plan, right? They had Woxic lining up utility. I think they were going to try and fast explode into this A bomb site. And now on the back of losing him, they're still committing to it. They're still trickling out into this top mid area. But it's taken a lot of the momentum out of this round. They lose one of their smokes. They lose the utility that Woxic had in a round that Mousesports didn't have everything in. you look at what they've gained for it, well, they're very much relying on just winning these fights straight up, and Blame F and Rush, they're doing a good job of holding this back right now. Blame F not moving, and a second kill found leaves all the pressure onto Rops in a 1v3.
Yeah, and I don't think he realizes he's killed everyone short side. He was looking at short for a second there, but a plant was available in that clutch.
I want to clarify something. I've seen a few questions from people, right? That little map graphic up in the top right of our screen, Hugo. I've seen people asking as to why like the higher seeded teams look like they get 2 picks. Not the case. It's because Mousesports were the last team to ban, and so therefore it says that they picked it up in that top right?
Yeah.
Because they had the choice of what map it went to.
There were 2 left.
They banned the last map. Yeah. So in a way, they kind of picked that, but it is just the decider map, right? It is just the third and final deciding map. Mouse had to say where it went to, and that's how they've been doing it here. But I've seen that, you know, I've been tweeting it. I've seen like a few threads about it, just asking. So there you go, just to tie that one together for anyone wondering.
Man, with all the answers here, Mousesports might want to recruit him. They need some answers right now. 15 rounds for Cole, looking to take us to Dust 2, push us over the line. Good spray from Blame, but they actually finds nothing. The bullets were there. Mousesports were hiding, flashed out. They will push again off the back of a flash, blinding Cole, but still losing their life, still losing the fight, and still losing the map. Woxic falls last, and that's 16 rounds to complexity on their map pick. 9 for Mousesports. Doesn't feel like nearly enough for Mouse, but they're going to head to their pick at least of Dust 2 moving forward. We're hoping Mouse can show up a little bit more moving into that second. But right now, Harry Cole, well, this online play for them in Europe, it's certainly paid off, it looks like.
Yeah, man. I mean, that was a really good-looking Inferno from the Complexity, you guys. Blame F topping the charts, looking real good, right? He can lead, he can read, he can do it all, Hugo. And that's exactly what we wanted to see. Mousesports, they've certainly got their work cut out for them. That much is clear. And with Dust 2 on the horizon, a good map for both of these teams, this series feels like it's still got some mileage on it and still time to get exciting. So stick around for that second map and the Analyst Desk after a quick break.
Flashbang's affected. They have got through the smoke wall here, but Chris J, he is the final boss of the bomb site.
Now Spitty and Chris J to keep Mousesports alive.
Oh, Chris! He's found 3. It's down to a 2-on-2. Chris, can he close this with an ace? Oh my God!
Can they actually close this out? Boom, Chris.
Fantastic way to start, and no scopes on him himself. Absolutely saving Mousesports.
Hey, it's me, Lily from AT&T. I'm back, working from home, and here to help.
Hey Lily, I'm hearing a lot about 5G. Should I be getting excited?
Depends. Are you gonna want faster speeds?
I will.
More reliability?
Oh, also yes.
Better response times?
Definitely.
Are you gonna be making sourdough bread?
Oh, is that 5G related?
No, it's just like, why is everyone making sourdough now? But yes, you're gonna want 5G.
AT&T is building 5G on America's best network. Visit att.com to learn more.
Pressure's rising deep inside it. Feel the tension. There is so much you do to me. I could mention. I'm high, sparks fly, even when I touch your shoulder. I feel your heartbeat, and I wanna take you over. I wanna taking over me. Lust, I just can't help myself. 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 Take it now. Lust, I just can't help myself. Take it now. Lust, I just can't help myself. Take it now. Lust, I just can't help myself. Take it now. Lust.
Well, would you look at that? Complexity Gaming, COL 16, Mouse Sports MOUZ 9. And that is going to be the way the first map goes here. It's Complexity Stick of Inferno that goes well in their way. First half 6-9. They rounded out with a 7-3 second half. And overall, good looks from Complexity. Mouse Sports, not the same. Didn't seemingly have an answer here for everything that Complexity had to throw their way. And you just have to give a tip of the fedora that I'm sure all of you out there are wearing. A tip of your fedora over to the Complexity side for putting in that work. And welcome back to the Dreamhack Master Spring 2020. I've got both Potter and Halvor here with me to talk about putting a bow on it and sending that gift home. What has just happened here, ladies and gentlemen?
I guess exactly what I expected, Trace. I told you Complexity are going to obviously win the series out. But we're being showcased to a Complexity that's been really putting in the work. I think throughout the game, both CT and T side, you see a team that's got a very set game plan. They have a very good idea of what they need to do versus a team like Mouse Sports. I mean, the way they approach Banana, for instance, throughout their entire T side is just well thought out because they know the tendencies of that Mouse Sports team. So yeah, it's just the better team won on Inferno, simply put.
Now, interestingly enough, I think you're exactly right. We're going to look at the numbers real quick, and they're not going to tell you that Chris J had a great time today, but I know who is about to have a great time, and we can all sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Good luck, Potter. Tell us about what you got in Stats Helix.
Yeah, I just wanted to showcase exactly what Halvor was alluding to, was that banana control. And if we take a look at the Stats Helix, you're going to see exactly the set piece that really set Complexity over the line towards that B bomb site. In the beginning here, you see Complexity members keeping Mouse Sports towards this mid, throwing some utility, making sure that the three defenders, they're going to stay A for as long as they can keep them there. And if I just fast forward towards here, they do regroup and start going towards B. Now, Mouse Sports, they get a read on this and they start overstacking towards this B bomb site, but it doesn't matter because this set piece that's about to happen from Complexity, all the bases are covered. They know exactly how to handle a three-piece here. Now, the two utility that's most important is going to be the smoke that's top stairs and this Molotov here. Now, if I pause here, take a look at where all the Complexity members have positioned themselves. We got 2 players in the construction area and 2 players here. The most important frag here, I think, is Rush and his role within this strategy. He's jumping on top of this triple box here, and he's going to be taking out the coffin. And if we can take a look at the player's point of views, you're going to see exactly how these frags kind of line up. And all these members of Complexity, all they have to worry about is the triple spot, the back right position of the B bomb site. I just really like how thorough all these Complexity members are. I like the pathing that they take and exactly how the trades are going to be coming out. They know exactly where the frags are coming from. So they are super prepared. They know exactly what their look is going to be at that B-bomb site. And I just love this set piece.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much a testament as to what Complexity have been working on this entire time, whereas Mouse Sports struggle to find where they stand. We struggle as well to talk about that next map of Dust 2, and I think better than us talking about it would just be watching it. Analysts, stop talk. Trace, stop talk. Go to break. Dust 2's next. Complexity, Mouse Sports, right here at the Dreamhack Master Spring 2020, y'all.
Say what you say, I'll do what you do. Don't you be my lover? come my way. Cause I catch a bad vibe when you're in my way. Some might play, but I don't wanna rush and make mistakes. And she don't care about the money, she don't wanna be a star. She just gives me good loving, so I keep her in my heart, yeah. Cause if we keep it in the moment, yeah, hope you never go too far. If it's one thing I know, we can move slow, and we can run down the clock. Baby, I got time, eh, 24 hours for you, eh, and you're on my mind like all the time, yeah. I got 24 hours for you. Girl, I just need 24 more. Stand up, baby, round of applause. Stand up like you're ready for war. Oh, girl, I think I need a encore. Girl, I just need 24 more. Stand up, baby, round of applause. Yeah, you know I need 24 more. Yeah, you know I need 24 more. I can't wait. Ain't got much more words that I can say. Girl, there's room in my lane, yeah. So you can move to outer space, yeah. Cause what's a race without a chase, yeah. She don't worry about the money, no. She don't care about who you are. She just gives me good loving, yeah. So I keep her in my heart, yeah. And if we keep it in the moment, yeah. Hope you never
Wow, the fires burn brightly for Complexity over on Inferno. We've seen the ashes to ashes here, now it's time for the dust to dust. And that there is the next map in this series, the map pick of Mouse Sports, no less. And we're hoping they can bounce back here to make this a close, competitive 3-map series.
Yeah, one thing to recall is recent results, right? We always look at these. There's been a lot of games online for both these teams especially. And for Mouse Sports, yeah, we talked about how their recent losses on Inferno, not looking good. They've fallen to the top teams. They've fallen to some up-and-comers. Well, here on Dust, they're on a bit of a streak, a 4-win streak over the likes of G2, Fnatic, Astralis. These are all great teams at this map, and so that bodes well for Mouse Sports in this series. They may be down a map, they may not have looked super competitive on that T side of Inferno, but now is a whole different kettle of fish. Let's see if they can start to boil up as they get into this T side. A fast play down lower in the pistol round for Mouse Sports. It's lots of Kevlar for Complexity, and immediately a kill out middle. Poison's gone, and Mouse Sports will move up mid.
Yeah, Woxic even shooting the defuse kit. Now, that's not going to break it or anything, but maybe it's a sign of, I don't know.
Pushing it back.
Yeah,
He's
you
trying
know.
to push it back.
Okay.
Didn't really work.
Yeah, it didn't. I don't know. Yeah, that's
Don't
pretty much
read
all
it
it is.
then.
I'm not assigning anything to it that it wasn't. Let's go. Up through short for Mouse. We'll lead the defuse kit in the back of our minds. A nice tag on a config. And Frozen deals with him at ramp. Obo now at long. Tapping down. And ooh, that's a nice kill on a Frozen. Okay. Oh, and a follow-up as well from Obo. All right, so now it's in... Oh, okay, Obo, on for the ace now. Of course, in the blink of an eye, he's gone from none to 4. From 0 to hero in this round. And it's only Carrigan left. He's flashed off the angle. The bomb is planted for him. But this should be an impossible clutch. And it's Obo with the ace. Finding the first round on the board for Complexity. A great start to Dust for this man.
Shout out to my Obros out there.
Your Obros, yeah, man. I mean, this was nuts. This was wild, in fact. And considering he hadn't, like, you know, he didn't blow in our minds back on Inferno,
Like
he
4
really,
kills.
yeah, he really does open up Dust 2 in a big way.
Yeah, no, he was like the bottom performer in the server back on the previous map. Apart from Chris, actually, he ended it with 10 kills. Bottom for his team, only negative player. Obviously, just looking at the numbers alone, but that's a great way of just spinning it on its head and opening up Dust 2. It's put full money and full rifles in the hand of Cole, who won't play around with any SMGs. You don't often see that on Dust 2. Playing it very safe, knowing Mouse Sports aren't going to force here. They want guns soon, especially on their rifle, especially on their pick, at least when it comes to maps. Bomb is going up middle, 2 players here. It's been spotted, and Woxic's going to get wallbanged out. Even though Blame falls back, there's still a second line of defense if someone else wants to challenge. Config coming in, and he's seen Rox with the bomb as well. Rox looking for the Deeg shot, does land it, but will get swiftly traded. 4 from Blame in this one, so not quite the ace, but it will do, and it will be 2 for Complexity. Mouse coming in with guns, and the AWP in their 3rd round of the play. Poison can't afford it yet, so it will be still the scout here for Cole. Fast cat play for Mousesports, not hanging around, not waiting. But the grenade is received by Carrigan. Nice shot from Frozen, opens up on long, takes a bit of damage from Rush, but it will be an advantage for Mousesports, a much needed one in this opening rifle round. Up cat they go and set the quick smokes up. This bomb is going to be late. Mox is holding dark, and Mousesports, they look like they want to commit, but that bomb is still in spawn, so it doesn't really hint towards an A play here. They're actually going to back out and go B late, and that rotation from Kohler to Gamble is a bad one as well. They've moved away from the B bomb site. This might come back to haunt them with Mousesports falling back into what could be a mid to B, putting pressure on the tunnels right now, but oh dear. Here they come, right through middle. Kohler going to spot this mid to B smoke. They know exactly what's going on, and there's nothing they can do about it but save.
Yeah, it's a pretty grim ending to a round for Complexity. You know, you lose one man and then it has to culminate in this save, but that's sometimes the way of Dust 2. And sure, it doesn't make for anything exciting here in round number 3, but it will be a much needed round on the board for Mouse, and a flawless one at that. These are the kind of rounds that really set you up for the rest of the game. So it's an important building block here for Mousesports, as they're finally going to make a bit of money. When you think about how the cash really was becoming a problem for them over on Inferno, it's nice that they're at least kind of dealing with that threat early on by keeping this first buy round flawless here. Now, pretty much the same can be said for Complexity, right? They keep 4 players alive, they save on 4. Rush has got money to reinvest anyway. There's a chance that we could even see... yeah, I don't really know. I was trying to figure it out. Woxic's just like chilling.
Harry, you're trying to read Woxic this game. I don't think Woxic knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
he's shooting kits, he's running into walls.
I like that about Woxic, you know? Yeah. He just brings like an element of cheekiness to his gameplay. You're never really sure what he's planning, and yet he manages to make it look excellent when he does it.
Well, a first round of the board, that is excellent for Mousesports, getting on nice and early with the rifle rules, and Cole don't have the money to, you know, stop them. Not necessarily with the AWP, at least. With the scout, it will have to do. Nice little B play for Mousesports that Cole run away from. Preemptively, in fact. And now, well, they're not going to do that again. Oboe is sat inside of the site, Config supporting the window, and we even have mid being taken by Cole. So very focused towards his B side of the map. Of course, Blame can rotate fast, but right now, Cat hasn't been taken just yet. Mousesports are moving up it, though. Frozen flashed out on long, does spray it, keeps Rush back. He doesn't want to give away the long pick in this round. Let Mousesports get an advantage early on. They are just going to creepy crawl their way towards Cat. The scouts move back on the car side. Poison's going to be watching, and Blame can hear all the footsteps as well, telling Poison to be very alert.
Yeah, the smoke's gone down to allow this cross out behind Catwalk. With no one in the lower tunnels, this does just feel like the commitment from Mouse, right? They don't have any contingency plans. They don't have anything else up their sleeve. This is just looking like the Cat play, and this is, you know, like a bread and butter for a T side. You know, this is one that you just roll back time and time again. So this is a nice early kind of litmus test of this Cat play from Mousesports in this game. 30 seconds left as they try and get into the site. Molly going to force a man out from the ramp position, but it's actually Poison with his scout at long to deal with Carrigan as he moves into this site. And Poison's getting away with even more damage. A bomb plant will get found here for Mouse at the very, very least. But this scout has already done more than enough, and Poison is continuing to lay down the pain. Config comes in because he doesn't want anyone to forget about him while Poison's popping off like this, and this leaves Rops all alone. This is an undoable round. He knows it. We know it. He's backing out, and the defusers come in for Complexity.
I can't think of the last time that I saw like a cat play like that just get left to the mid lurk. The guy watching the tunnels flank and the mid play and defending long as well. Like Rops is in a 1-on-5 with a bomb plant of a cat. Like what the hell is he supposed to do about that? Excellent shots from Poison. He doesn't need the AWP, Harry. He doesn't want it. Well, I mean, that's a lie. He does, and he'll take it right into this round. Reaping the rewards of those scout shots. Woxic is going to join him, though. 0-3, yet to frag, but let's see if that can change in this round. Got that AWP late from T-Spawn to long. Poison is posted on the car once again, and Rush is taking control of this position as well as Mousesports look to flash out into long. There it goes, and here come the T's. Rush might need some support after all. The AWP is going to move in to try and take a shot, but a boost up for Mousesports above the blue. Flash up, Poison mollies, but still Rush hasn't gone for a full fight nor peek. The grenade should get some damage, but nothing significant, and this is a great angle to watch Pit. Woxic even drop a flame, and Rush is trying to get aggressive. He will land that kill. Poison covering as well as drop the T AWPer, and somehow, some way, Complexity not only get control back of long, but get the bomb dropped to their feet. That kill would make every difference, but Chris will survive. Missed shot from Poison, and that's given Mousesports a way back into this round. Look at Carrigan.
Yeah, Carrigan being so deep within the site, that's a bit of a question mark. Not something that Complexity really know about. Oh, there we go. Carrigan has it under control, but now he's really got to have it under control. You know, you kind of like tame the beast a little bit. It's trusting you, but can you get Obo on side in this 1v1? He's 6-0 on the board, and he's looking to go Bames John, 7-0 if he gets this clutch. Looking for Carrigan, who's hidden at Goose, and Obo has seen him. He knows what's going on, and Obo is going to tap Carrigan out of the round. Defuse for Complexity locked on in as this clutch goes their way. Remember, that was a 2-on-3 for Complexity. Once that bomb looked to get in through long. So Obo winning that one out, continuing to string together rounds here for the Cole side.
Obo, he's a nice dude. He won't shoot your dead body. He'll knife in your general direction. That's about all the BM you're going to get from this man. But great round from Obo as well. The fact that, you know, not only Carrigan's in a great position there, I think the problem for Mousesports is throwing the bomb on the cross. That player definitely should have just crossed. Chris was low, but I think that's the risk, right? Config didn't know Carrigan was there, and he's able to swing out and at least get one for his troubles. Obo reads Rops' position, which was the same as the previous round at top mid, holding onto that cat play, and he's able to not only kill him, but close out the clutch. Good stuff for Cole, 4-1 up on Dust 2. As we said, you know, Mousesports, they've had a great track record on this map, but right now Cole are looking great individually, and they've always been a fan of Dust 2. Fast mid-play, trying to create a distraction for this B tunnels, execute. Config missing the shot, pistols out. He's going to give up B here, but that gun is not what he wants up against the Tech 9. Somehow Chris wins a fight from a range, and that AWP, while it's not been picked up, it is retrievable close to the window for Mousesports. This round is looking like a lock-in. A fast mid to B play. Complexity missed a couple of crucial shots, and with that not going his way, it's got to be a save.
So this B site is really where Mousesports are kind of getting by right now in this Dust 2 game. And Complexity falling short in this one. You think about the fact that this was only a partial investment for Mouse, and actually this is a great outcome. You know, suddenly you are just flushed with money over on the T side. You're able to get it done on with only these pistols. That shot making all the difference from Chris. Don't really know how he gets away with it with the Tech 9, but sometimes that is the Chris J effect. Interesting, as two players here for Mouse don't have head armor. Up against the M4s, that is a bit of a curious one. One of those is Woxic here with his AWP over at long.
That's because they half bought last round and they don't want to upgrade it, right? They were eco, their pistol armor, and Mousesports win it, but they get away with, you know, not 100 armor left, and so it's going to cost a grand to upgrade, whereas Mousesports would rather, you know, take the risk and save the money. You know, like in Pugs for sure. At this level, it could be punishing, but, you know, can't really dwell on it. It's not a big problem for Mousesports by any means of the word. Not yet, anyway.
Let's see if it looks to become a problem. This bomb just left in top mid. Mousesport taking this round very, very slowly. They're waiting to see if Complexity try and push the extremities of these bomb sites. Not looking to be the case. The one man who could be in a bit of danger right now is Rush over at Long, as he does lie in wait on the other side of these doors. And there are players here for Mouse trying to scout this area out. Now, this is where Rush has been helped here. Poison's rotated back from Catwalk. A pretty ballsy rotation, all things considered, because there were players for Mouse there. BlameF is listening out for the cat plate, and Poison is here to help Rush out of danger. That shot raining on in denies any attempt at the trade from Chris J. The molly is going to force Rush out into the open, but he gets away with a lot of damage before he goes down. And with 20 seconds left on the clock, Chris J on 10 points of health, this might just be a Complexity round.
Yeah, if Mousesports don't save, I mean, Complexity could just hunt down these kills after time. That could be a bit of a problem. Chris looks like he wants to die. He's hanging out in middle. But now, well, now that's out the window. Now he wants to hold on to his gun, but Complexity might not let him live. They're going to push. They're going to get close. Oh, dear. Lots of noise made, but no warbangs found. And Complexity, they'll take the round anyway. Keeping their guns alive, most importantly, and building the CT economy early in this game. Mousesports, both rounds they've had have been responded on by quick recoveries of Complexity. Rush, great double on Long, holding down the line. He's been playing that corner quite a lot, or at least close towards Long. Does find some value out of it. Orbs are back in, though. Poison back on Long, throwing flashes to set his team up for that fight. Carrigan is going to spam config as he gets up Catwalk, but this is heard and this is known by Complexity. Frozen finally wins a fight versus Rush, and that Long fight is always, you know, a bit of a problem here when you're leaning towards B early, because now Poison's going to have to both watch a Catwalk and pivot between that and Long, running right back as we speak. But so is Carrigan running forward up Catwalk with the flashbangs. There they go. And one player's going to drop. Carrigan's in the spawn, not for long. Blame will rid him of the round. And now it's a 4-on-4 with the bomb trying to get towards A.
Yeah, Poison has denied the first man out from Cat, and you can see what this has done to Mouse. They're going to maybe try and hit B because Rops has gotten into the site, and he's calling that it's clear. Frozen dealing with Poison at Long, and it might seem tempting now to rotate back. I think instead they're going to use Rops as a lurk in through B to try and help the bomb, because the bomb is in a spot of bother. Woxic is trapped at Catwalk. And this whole round is hit like a very weird situation. Rops has just bailed Mousesports out in such a big way. At least he believes. With those 2 kills, there's only one man left. But Obo's already in B, and both players here for Mouse. Obo trying to break them up into 2 1v1s, and he gets his wish, but he's not able to win it out over Rops. Rops really is the savior of Mousesports there, like single-handedly on this play down through mid, removes the first, somehow taps down the man at Car. That is just unreal. And in doing so, carves the path for that bomb to rotate down through mid into the B bomb site, which would not have been available had Rops made those shots connect. So stellar stuff on his behalf. An attack pause now called in from Complexity. I'm going to try and figure out what's going wrong. And, you know, I think justifiably so, because in a good few of these rounds that Mousesports have put up, Complexity have been looking good, right? And it's either come down to, like, losing the players at B and just having to save, or in that round there, you actually had the advantage. And it's the fact that B is open that allows Rops to come in on this flank and blindside you. So this B bomb site is causing problems for Complexity, and they've got to look as to how to address that here in round number 9.
Yeah, and not really armed for the job, are they? Warp is available. Perfect position for Poison, holding Woxic before he even gets to that spot. And 2 pistols around, right? This round isn't as simple as that one opening kill. Mousesports have a far better weaponry than Complexity, and so this Orb needs to be very mobile for Poison. Unfortunately, he's away from the car right now, so if Mouse commit Cat, then he can't really have much to say into it. Rops is close in B, but not committing on his own. Mouse are going to go fast into this site. Poison's already made it, though. They are close in CT. He doesn't realize he's been tagged down. It's a wide swing from Blame, and Carrigan and Frozen combined for 2 kills. Bomb thrown on the site. Big play by Carrigan. The grenade will finish off the job, though, and he walks right into it. 3-on-2 for the retake, but no kid available. The problems just keep appearing for Complexity, and with a man down lower, they've got to deal with him as well. Rops waiting in the wings with 1. Config trades, and that's going to be a retake now up against Frozen on just 10 health.
Oh, and the flash is good. They know he's here. They know he's at ramp. Frozen, can he offer anything up? Swings wide, but in doing so, into the double peak of Config and Obo. Defuse found for Complexity, 6 now on the board, and this CT side, you know, it feels like every time House Sports put a round up on the board, there is an immediate response from Complexity. The reason why it might feel like that is because every time House Sports put up a round, there's an immediate response from Complexity. Hugo, it's funny how that one works.
Crazy.
Yeah, Mousesport's not able to chain together 2 in a row just yet.
Yeah, and that's such a problem for building money, right? Like, you can just see the fact that Mouse are constantly on these ecos, even though they're winning them and stuff. But right here, I mean, they're buying a hero AWP and a hero AK on an eco round. Like, this is rough for Mouse. These are the players that survived in the save the other day. But Woxic immediately removed, and that AWP is no longer in play. It's going to get picked up and wallbanged by Chris J. Dear, oh dear. Poison, you don't want to trifle with him. The experience on this man is not to be messed with, and he has at least opened up long, but that's not where Mousesports want to go. Smoke down low, trying to stay alive in this position is Config, but it's going to be Obo drawing them in with fights. Trade is good. Config is still here, though, and Chris is not out of the woods just yet. That grenade misses with a flank. Shouldn't. The bomb dropped up top mid, and Rush coming down suicide. This is the last place Chris is going to expect, and Rush, timing is everything on this play. Chris is looking the wrong way, and he's making noise. Bomb picked up. Does Rush know? He's going to begin to move forward. Oh dear, it's ring around the rosy. Chris has cornered him, and Rush doesn't realize, at least not yet, but yeah, running, that will give it away. Rush should have this round under his hand, although Chris has spotted him. Oh, has someone commed it? No one's realized he looked right at his opponent. He's actually hidden right behind the box. Sorry, the darkness eludes me again. Chris runs back towards long. Rush sees it from top mid. This is such a weird round. Rush has had a lot of opportunity, but he doesn't want to risk losing this one, and now he's going to pull his knife out and run on the flank. Chris kills him and fakes the death cam towards A. Config ain't falling for it, though, or maybe he is. Giving it due consideration. Going to come back towards middle. Good read by Config. He's got the situation under his hand, and he will be able to find it. Oh, that was a heartbreaker for Rush for there. I mean, the fact that he takes so long on that flank and gives Chris so much room, I thought that he was at least going to try and play it like safe. But then the second Chris takes long, Rush falls for it. He sprints with his knife out, and he dies, leaving it to Config, who is up for the task. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, really. T-side Inferno, man. Think about the amount of B hits that Complexity had, or even the fact that, you know, it's just standard Inferno games. It's not, it doesn't even matter really what site you go to. Like, they were walking into 3A setups, trading effectively, 3-on-2, plant, Mousesports save because they're too far away. They're committed in B. So a wise man once told me Dust 2 is like a big Inferno, and we've got that wise man on the line right now. Harry, any thoughts?
Yeah, it really is, Hugo. You know, like, even in terms of the colors, striking resemblance here. Of course, map 2, Big Inferno, as it's called, and it might be a big B rush. There's a lot of Bs in this one, but I don't know where I'm going with that. I tried to tie it in. I tried to tie it a B joke, but it didn't happen. Let's see, buzzing into this B site. It's Obo holding down the line.
How is
Bit of a hive mind, though, as all the rotations have come through from Complexity. Meantime, though, Blame F has to try and hold the line solo, and Frozen does best him. Let's see, up in the window, Poison looking to be the B keeper, trying to keep this one under lock and key, but that molly is not what you wanted. He's actually... Okay, well, maybe that's what you wanted. Down to the 1v1, and Poison versus Frozen. Flash goes over the top. There's still a smoke in the door, and Poison is plagued with the indecision of what gun to commit to this with. Goes with the AK, lines up the shot. You're worried that the indecisiveness there on the weapon switching could have punished him, but no, he's right to have chosen the AK. He trusts himself, he trusts the weapon, and he puts the round up on the board. A stellar retake there in the... I guess kind of essentially 1v2 for Poison, right? His teammate in the tunnels never really plays into the round. So an 8th on the board for Complexity. No money on the Mousesports side. They're going to partially invest again with a hero AK on Chris J. And this is already giving me memories of Inferno, you know? Like, this is a very similar scoreline, a very similar situation to that previous map.
Yeah. But Mouse have won these rounds, right? They have won them here in Dust 2 with those mid to B plays that can be so suffocating on this T side. Complexity, well, they're not worried about it just yet. Poison's up on Cat. He's about to get the full brunt of this T-side offense, and with a run boost as well, the flick will not connect, and I don't blame him. But grenades to follow, keeping Mousesports back will be him and Rush combining for a kill. Blame is here as well. Feels like everywhere Mousesports go, there's 3 Complexity players ready to fight. The re-smoke down, Mousesports are denied that passage, at least for the time being. Gonna wait for the right time to strike. Karrigan's picked up a smoke from the body of Frozen. He's gonna head elsewhere, looking for this mid to B. Take a note of Rops. He's actually out the doors already in that cubby close to middle. So already ahead of the curve perhaps, but Complexity are watching for this from the B doors.
Oh, and they are just getting churned up. Obo at the B doors laying down the pain. Does get a Tech-9 pressuring him close. And the rest of the gang are smoked off in mid, but the B players are holding their ground, at least right now. A bomb plant is available to Rops at a bare minimum, and that's something for Mousesports to work with. He's retrieved an M4. I don't think it's got any ammo left in it, so he's got to get this done with the Deagle, and he does find the first man in. He's just checked, and yeah, it's empty. Another for Rops, and the Deagle might be all it takes. Rops! What in good name is that? A 4th on the board, Mousesports. Oh boy, that is unreal. What? Unreal. He even checked the M4. No ammo in it, and commits with the D. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. I wasn't ready for that. All right, Robs, come on then. Let's get the rest of Mouse believing, because you're clearly there. It feels wild that this Mousesports team, the same team that released their comm video from this map when they played it in Pro League Finals up against the Astralis, right? Do you remember that, Hugo?
Yeah,
have you seen that video?
I have.
Think about the emotions and how happy, how hyped everyone on Mouse sounded when they were playing Astralis back at Pro League Finals Season 10. I think it was semi-finals, 3rd map, Dust 2. And there was so much hype around this team. They were reaching new heights that with this squad, they hadn't reached before at the time. And to see them now looking fragile, it doesn't feel right. Doesn't sit right with me. And here on Dust, maybe that little clip from Rops in the last round, maybe that's reinvigorated Mousesports. Let's see. They're setting up over here outside of A. They're trying to get across with the smokes down. And shots start to rain on through for either side. And it's Rops to find the kill, offering up a little bit more damage, but now the Deagle of Rush. All right, come on then, another D-ground, let's get it. He puts up 3. Can Obo finish off what Rush has started? We're down to this 1v2 clutch. The bomb dropped at ramp. Obo coming in from long, and Woxic, he's having a pivot between Cart and Crossroads, and he is ready. Head on a swivel, 5th on the board for Mouse. And another round going their way.
Oh my, these Deagles, Harry, they are just dastardly, aren't they? Rush is warming up on this A site and trying to do his best Drops impression. It won't work out for the round, unfortunately. Obo just gets long as Woxic considers the position, but a nice low economy round for Cole. Fortunately, they got another one following that. It was a force buy. This back and forth affair, right? You talk about how Mousesports haven't had 2 rounds in a row. Well, finally they get it, and that has broken Complexity. That's all it took. Full USPs in middle. Rush is going to flash these players once they get contact, once they feel the time is right. But Mousesports are so slow and so patient to this position. And that's exactly what they need to be. Because if they start rushing, then Complexity are going to give them the beans with these USPs. Rush gets tagged through the door. He's not even peeking. He needs to be careful. Wants that flash to go out to help his team out. But Complexity have already bailed from middle. They said, Rush, we don't believe in it. And we're going to go elsewhere. We're going to go back towards A. Rush going to just hang out, getting warbanged. It's actually Obo, sorry, still on the doors. Rushes up on Cat, flashes long for a fight. Frozen will win both of them, though. No issue for Frozen. Cold, calm, and collected are Mousesports, and Complexity, well, they're out of this round. 6 for Mousesports, 1 left of the half, and plenty of money for Cole. They won't have the AWP available, but everything else is there.
I like to think the Mousesports can still recover this. I want this series to go the distance, Hugo. I think it's going to be a fun one. And these Deagle clips in the last few rounds, they've shown us that. So come on, Mouse. Let's put up 7 at the end of this first half. Let's keep it nice and close. Let's keep Complexity sweating. Let's give them the challenge that this Complexity squad deserve as well.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at some of the scalps that Cole have taken down recently online in Europe, you know, I think it's actually really impressive considering how far this team has come in the few months. that it's been here. Beating Sprout, Endpoint, Secret, Big, Nordovin, some decent teams in the European region. Of course, teams that you would expect Cole to beat, but they've certainly had their problems when they first moved here in Europe at winning those series. And right now, while Complexity showing up on the big stages versus Mousesports, a map up and 2 rounds up, and the last round of the half they're favored as well. Everything in their hand. Mousesports committing towards long with the bomb. Rops is again in B. He's been really good at coming in, either holding rotations in middle or lurking through B and coming in on flanks or securing the site to allow for the rotation of the bomb. Lots of effect from Rops' positioning in this game. He's going to throw his fake B smoke, go down lower, try and assist his team in other ways. What that smoke has done is immediately drawn a rotation. Not only have they given up long to fight for Catwalk, but Config has come towards middle, and so they might need to reconsider that one. A molly thrown from long. Config knows they could be close with the time that he's peeled away, and he's been peeled away for Rops' benefit, but that timing is unfortunate. Poison pushes as Rops looks to go in on that backstab, and now Mousesports are reduced to 2.
Yeah, and they waited all round for Rops to find anything with that flank, and he doesn't. So this gets mopped up there by Complexity. It's 9 for them at the end of the first half, 6 for Mousesports here. Complexity leading on the second map in this series. Find out who takes it after a quick break. Stick around.
Keep on searching. I'll keep on searching. I'll keep on searching. Oh, I'll never give up. I'll keep on searching. I'll keep on searching. I'll never give up. Stars up above us. I'll never give up. I'll never give up on searching. I'll never give up. I'll never give up with you. Never give up with you. I can spend with you.
Complexity taking on Mousesports 9-6 at the end of the first half of play, Hugo. And Complexity leading the way. You can hear the crowd. They're going wild. They're getting excited as we get ready to head into the second half of the second map in this series.
The crowd indeed is going wild, Harry, and yes, I mean, the action, it's in front of us. It is paused, but it is indeed in front of us. Complexity up by 3 at the end of the first half here. They're also a map up, if that makes any difference. We've actually got even more clapping.
That's actually,
yeah. Trace, shut your mouth. Thank you.
They've actually overlaid a real crowd.
Just trying to drown out Trace. I don't blame them.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
We just had all that go down. Kind of improv, but I didn't know that was something we had available to us, honestly.
I will be calling for that.
You will be.
Every
routinely.
halftime.
And now the crowd getting hyped up again. Woo! There they are. Twitch chat, let me hear you make some noise.
Sounds about as unhinged as I imagine.
A talk show as opposed to like, because that's like, it's like the crowd goes mild, you know. It's like golf.
Mousesports. Set.
Mousesports now. Of course, pistol round. About to begin. 4 seconds left on it. And Carrigan, respectful, gone for the utility purchase alongside Frozen with a defuse kit to his name. Now he's lining up the putt. There's about 75 meters on this one. And Obo out through long. Gets in there first.
Yeah, Complexity want to get out in front of this one, and they think they can do it at long A. They're going to be here in numbers as well. You can tell by the defense here split for Mousesports. They're all over the place in terms of 3 on the A site. So Chris J, he's going to have that first point of contact out long A, and that's going to make things interesting. Rock gets absolutely smashed as the car, and it's only time tells. It takes now Chris J as well. Now we've got a bigger problem on our hands. Mousesports already find themselves down 9-6, but this looks like a bomb plant. Big grenade from Kerrigan. Touchdown even. Kobe Bryant in the house. And of course, 3v2. Blame F and Rush just trying to get this bomb planted, Harry.
Yeah, Carrigan is still a nuisance, still hidden in the elevator, and he's trying to ride this one all the way to the top. It's Carrigan looking for the last man at long, Blame F all alone, and he's getting pressured, he's getting shut down, and it's Mouse to find the pistol. Now, this is getting some very similar vibes, Hugo, to what Inferno gave us moments ago. It's the same pattern, same scoreline, and the pistol round being won by Mousesports again.
Even the same pistol round. Look at those grenades, man. Just dunking the players on the site as they plant. I can't believe Carrigan gets 2 out of that one. Him and Frozen combined, and Mousesports, they've just saved themselves. That looked like it was going to fall apart, but instead, a round back in, and now they can find those conversions. They can put it up to 9-9, like they did on Inferno. So, like you said, yeah, definitely similarities here between these series. We're going to see where Mousesports go with this investment. Heavy on long, and for good reason. Complexity are up cat with Deagles. You expect teams to eco here, and that's why Chris has only got a P250. He's not running default USP. He knows there definitely could be armor, and there is. So, like, this gun is a bit of a liability in this round. We'll see if the rest of Mousesports, who are armed well, can put a stop to it. Here, Cole, go. Carrigan's watching from the long side. Cole, they're not going to drop into spawn. They're just going to fully commit to this cat cross, and the smoke's actually cut out Woxic. He's close to the scout. This is not where you want to be, because he's likely not going to be able to get more than 1 from this position before the trade comes in. Plant available. Missed shot. Woxic running out of chances, and Rush will remove him from the round.
So if you remember, back on Inferno, this is what happened. The Force was stolen away by Complexity. And here, on Dust 2, you don't believe your eyes, but the Force Spy has been stolen away by Complexity. They get a bomb plant, they win it out, they go 10-7 up now. And they're in a really good spot to keep ahead in this matchup. Of course, if you are just tuning in, if you are just joining us right now, Complexity, they are on the map pick of Mousesports. Dust 2, in case you can't recognize it. Don't know why you wouldn't be able to. It still looks pretty much the same as it always had. However, the map that just went down prior, that was a little bit of Inferno, a classic. And boy, Complexity, they came out swinging. They took that one convincingly, 16-9. Now leading on Dust as well. It's Complexity looking teed up to try and 2-0 this series.
Yeah, Rops even dies to the bomb like Mousesports. I wonder where their head is at right now. They're even going to force into this round, and that's when you know times are desperate on the CT side. Having to force here, I mean, you know, eco wouldn't have even been worth it. So it's you know, it's the right decision by Mousesports, but it's not the decision they want to have to make. Their economy has been, you know, pulled out from beneath them, up against 10 rounds. This can really push Complexity over the line here in this second map and in this series to open Group B as well. The first match we have inside of this group. Remember, we do have the other games coming up later. That will be Big Mad Lions That's definitely an exciting one to keep your eyes on as well. So,
That sounds like just a description.
yeah,
The
we have a big mad
Lions.
lion. Yeah.
Of course, the halftime show brought to you by the Big Mad Lions.
And then the complex mice, well, they will be coming up after that. But right now, we'll save the Germans, we'll save the Danes for later. As we certainly sit in an international roster on both sides of the coin. Complexity up towards Catwalk, taking that A-bomb site. They will throw in the mid to B smoke, keeping Mousesports here at a 4-man B setup. If Cole bail and go B, they're going to lose the round likely, but it doesn't look to be the case. Rush is lurking long, as he often does on the CT side, and Cole are just going to go fast into the site. Mousesports are trying to beat them to it. Chris is flashed off on long. Carrigan has crossed into A, but he was made quick work of. Nice scout shot, but it's going to come at a cost. 2 players dead. The long flank is in. Rush has got another, and now Mousesports, they can't win this round. The bomb's been planted, and Rops and Frozen might just think about saving.
Yeah, this is a pretty gut-wrenching spot to be in if you're Mousesports. This is their map pick, and it's looking even more dominant than Inferno at this point in time. 11-7 in favor of Complexity. And, you know, like, Dust 2 for Mousesports is like one of the only maps left in the pool that's kind of remained unwavering, even in this rather kind of downward spiral that they've been in for the last month or so. So this is a bit of a worrying sign. I do think, you know, like, it's not uncommon that when you see a team kind of stumble, that they really do, like, fall from grace to begin with and then turn it around. But... You know, that's the weird thing, right? Like, we've never been in a situation like right now in the world, right, where everything is shifted to online play. So I don't even know, like, how much we're putting stock in these results just yet, because it is all we have for the time being.
No, I think
and so all the teams are trying, like, a lot harder than I think you ever would for an online game. And I think, you know, this is the only metric we have. But I would like to think that Mousesports can recover, right? I would like to think that the high heights we've seen this team reach weren't the peak. And I think that's better from, like, a good CS perspective as well. But only time will tell if that's the case, Hugo. That's kind of the curse.
Obo's just killed everyone in this round, Harry. He got 2 down middle and then found a 3rd holding the B site. Bit of a push up, and Mousesports, well, they'll be pushed out of this round. 12-7, nice and clean for Cole. They have no issue. And now Mousesports, their first full rifle round, Harry, on the CT side, right? With the exception of that second round, which, again, not a full rifle round because it's number 2. But it's going to be this. Look at it. No AWP. 1 kit, just about util. I was going to say enough util, not even. They've just about got some util, at bare minimum. And this is, you know, up against 12, you know, where you're a map down. So this could be one of your 2 rifle rounds in this entire CT side. You've got to make it work. You've got to make it work. Carrigan dropping Rush as a trade from Config. Toxic does escape long, but look at the B setup. Mousesports know on a whim, Complexity can just throw in a mid to B and close out the map. So Mousesports want to tend towards that side of the map and deny any chance of it happening. If, of course, Cole hit A, it will be a retake setup for Mousesports. Chris has that kit, and he is the deepest B player indeed. So that's the game plan for Mouse, but they really are relying on this ending B right now. Cole have no interest in making that happen. Obo's holding from spawn side. We have Blame F in that Rops position at top mid, and 2 players with the bomb from Cole out long.
Yeah, the one thing that's kind of interesting to me, right, is like usually because like look at where Obo is holding, right? Number 6 on the minimap. You can see he's all the way back in T-spawn and he's just waiting. So this to me is like suggesting that Complexity are already expecting Mousesports to have began clearing out the tunnels. And he's waiting to see if he can catch a player like real deep. He never sees one, so, you know, I think on the back of this Complexity are now coming to this conclusion that they were holding Cat, they were holding T-spawn and like the tunnels area. No one's pushed, and so there's not going to be this early info system for Mousesports to play off of. And with only Woxic here, with Mouse being set up for a B play, as you've been prophesizing, Hugo, this might just have to be a save.
Oof.
You know, if Woxic had gotten 1, I think we see Mousesports attempt that retake. You know, if it's a 3-on-3, you've got a kit on Chris, you're at a pretty important point in the game. Fact of the matter is, Woxic gets nothing done. He gets smoked off and then gets killed through the smoke. So you're only left with this one option, and that is to hold on to these weapons. And for Chris J, he's only holding on to a Deagle and armor behind it. You know, not even getting out of this round with a weapon in hand.
Complexity. I am very impressed right now, and this group is certainly spiced up as a result. get away with all their guns, no issue in doing so. On both sides of the case, and 13 rounds for Complexity. Money is no longer an object, it's no longer an issue, it's not even a talking point. They've got maxed out, and they can get the AWP in on Poison right here if they want, they will. And here for Mousesports, right, another eco. They're going to buy up against 14, and they'll have at least, you know, the double AWP available if they want that, and everything they need. But again, that will be up against 14, and that's, of course, assuming they don't buy here. I think that's a safe assumption. I don't think Mousesports will make that decision, but we'll see how they choose to invest their money. I don't know if you knew this, Harry. It's an important fact. Carrigan, he wasn't a classic nerdy computer kid at school. In fact, apparently, he was one of the first to get a girlfriend and is very sociable. He also went on to say that he wanted to win a major with Robs. I don't know if you knew this, but it's all very important information.
Right, yeah, okay. I think I see that. I think I've heard that one before. We're sure on the very sociable part, the first to get a girlfriend?
That is true. He was the first to get a girlfriend. He wasn't your classic nerdy computer kid, Harry. You got to keep that in mind when you're talking about Carrigan. Probably one of the most important points.
I can't imagine how much he just. I'm glad he's just embracing that meme. That's
can't really do much
hardwired. It's you don't really have much of a choice, and that's what we like. But nowadays, you know, everyone's too busy making sourdough, something like that. Let's see though, who's getting the bread in this round? Complexity. They find a lot of damage early on. Blame F got tagged through the door and he's in lower tunnel. That's a nice little shot from Woxic, but not ultimately gonna deal the damage.
Out long. Carrigan, here is your time, and he's hit the shot. He's at least provided one here. Does anyone have a flash to bail him out? Woxic is the closest point and no util available. So Carrigan, you're on your own, buddy. You're on an island. You're stuck in the pit. And Poison has the cross covered. He's going to try and kill Config here. He knows he's behind blue. Carrigan not wanting to rush, drops back in the pit. Config takes him down, and now this scout might come and peek the AWP. That would be a big mistake. Config might bring the fight to him instead. Quick Molotov over the top. There's the AWP. Hits the tag. Woxic getting chased, and he won't escape. Not this time. Not alive. Poison moving up towards A. And Complexity, the full entourage of T's, 3 of them, trying to take this site.
Oh, and it's Config to open up. Man advantage taken now for Complexity, and Blame F even removing Chris J. Rob's left in a 1v4, and he's looking like he wants to save, but at this point, you know, you're saving 1 M4 up against 14 rounds for Complexity in a buy round that would be your last if you're Mousesports. There is no room for error at this point in time, and Complexity, they're not making any. Blame F is even ready and waiting in T-spawn to take that gun away from Rob, so he has denied the save. He is not given anything. And this game looking very, very likely to end 2-0 at this point in time, right? If Mousesports don't get this round, they're up against 15, they've got nothing, and those are 2 big problems occurring at once. That's worse than just one problem.
Yeah, double the problem and half the solution, Harry. They also have no time to deal with it. This is a maths problem, and Mousesports, I don't know if they brought their calculators. Quick kills out long. Woxic, he's still here, but so is the scope of Poison. Oh, a missed shot. Woxic, he is on a timer, and Poison, he'll turn the clock off. Quickly deals with him. 4 on 2 as Complexity move up towards this A site. This long position has been so good for them in this game. Mousesports have not stopped it once. Rops is here. He's behind the smoke. He can go through. Config's looking deep past it, and Rops has a window. Rops has a gap. No one's watching this, and Rops could shut down this entire round on his own.
Ooh, Rops, come on, man, let's get it. 1v4, and he's opened up with 1. They've left the bomb. They've left the bomb. Oh no, Rops is sticking it. They jump up, but the shots are missing. Rops has got the defuse, and no one gets him off of it in time. That's a round for Mouse. That is a round for Mousesports. 8 on the board. Rops with a ninja defuse, and yikes.
Yeah, why didn't they boost? They both went for jump shots. They both like got a tag, and then they went round and let him stick it. Like, if one player crouches there, boost the AK, they spam, they win the round. Now, obviously, you know, hindsight, hilariously so, and heat of the moment, no one wants to make that call. They're just rushing him. They're trying to beat him to the punch. They're trying to beat the timing as fast as they can, not mess around constructing a boost that they might fall off. But that was the only way they could have won the round. Rops had the timing. They were too deep, and that will be a retake from Mousesports. Incredible stuff. I actually didn't know that. That's pretty cool. unless he lied to me. Always a question.
Yeah, that's quite the... Unless I've been lied to on this bit of information, here's some information
Here's a
as I
fun
know
fact
it.
that may also not be factual, but it is fun regardless.
No, I like that. You know, I like having some fun with it. And why would Chris J lie? You know, what's he got to lie about?
Exactly. Sports, they've saved themselves, or more specifically Rops has. He's kept them in this series, but only by the skin of their teeth. They are dangling from a thread on a knife's edge. How many more metaphors do you want, Harry? I'm running out. Complexity are only 2 away from taking us over the line, and Sports don't have everything to play with either. Chris J on a Deke, but that's pretty much a rifle for Chris. He's pretty used to this gun.
Yeah, what you're hoping here, if you're Mouse, is that defuse and the fashion in which you got that round like really rattles Complexity and gives you a way back into this game. The problem you're going to have is that you really haven't made it easy for yourself, right? Because let's say like Complexity just completely self-destructed on the back of that, right? They still have so much money, and so even if everyone is doubting themselves, even if everyone is all shaken up, which I don't think is going to be the reality at all, but even in a worst case, I feel like as long as you're still doing damage, you can just long this game out, right? You've got the cash. It's going to be a grind for Mouse Sports. Let's see if they're up to the challenge. Frozen flashed in, but not able to get a kill. SA site now belongs to Complexity. And once again, it's Mouse tasked with a retake up against overwhelming odds. And Obo, making matters even worse, single-handedly lays down the pain, even drops config. So he's on 3 kills in this round, but only 2 of them on the enemy. Rops does get taken care of, and this was looking like maybe Mouse Sports could have found something, but now it falls onto Chris J alone with the Deagle, attempts the jump shot now. Obo, 4 kills in the round, 3 of them onto Mouse Sports, the other one onto Config. But it doesn't matter, 15 on the board for Complexity, and just 5 kills away from 2-0ing Mouse Sports in this opening series of Group B.
And it's looking like a lock-in, Harry. It's looking like Mousesports don't have anything to stop them. The money certainly isn't going to be a factor. You know, the Mousesports are proud of. No AWP. And Woxic, we saw that stat earlier about how his performance increases when he comes into Dust 2. It's not surprising, but it isn't appearing. Woxic has been quiet in this map. 7 kills to his name this deep into the game. And he was the top performer back on Inferno. That's the biggest surprise of all. So, you know, money hasn't been there for Mousesports. There's certainly a factor. T-side AWPing can be difficult with the way that Complexity are playing very tight. Poison's AWP never giving Woxic a way in on that car position. Pretty much didn't move away from there in the entire first half. So the situation Mousesports have been in has certainly been a hard one, but that's thanks to Complexity's powerful work. And right now they're looking to power through this map to finish it off. Fast play through middle. That molly will deny Woxic's re-entry past the smoke. They've got to go B. Chris is here. Quick trade. Conflict with a kill. One more man in the site, not for long. Obo's dropped in from the tunnel side, and now it is just a bomb plant for Complexity. Mousesports 3 up, trying to play, trying to fight for survival.
Yeah, they do deal with Blame F down in mid, and they spot Obo in the lower tunnels. 2 players now for Complexity getting caught trying to retreat into safer angles. Poison, missed flick, and doesn't connect it the second time around. It falls onto Config, but he's closed in the doors. And now Config on Frozen, 1v1, time ticking away, and it's Config to swing wide and solidify the 2-0 victory here for Complexity. They take it to Mouse Sports on Dust 2, a home map for the Mouse side, and they barely break a sweat. Complexity, they're looking good, and they've got me excited for them and their run here at the Dreamhack Masters Spring. For Mouse Sports, I'm sad to say it, but it looks like more of the same. This struggle is set to continue for Mouse.
And it is a real shame, right? Like, considering how good they were, not even just last year alone, but even coming into this year, they appeared and they looked just as good as they rounded out 2019. They were getting wins over Astralis, over Fnatic, over the big dogs over in Europe. And now, well, they've fallen short. I don't want to take that away from Complexity, though. They've been grinding in Europe for 2-3 months now, and the results are there. Back-to-back victories in Home Sweet Home Cup over some pretty decent teams that are even inside of their group, like Big, for example, and now a win over Mousesports to start off Group B. Dreamhack Masters Spring 2020 is heating up, and we have some folks on the analyst desk that would like to break down this series as well as talk to the winners and losers of both teams. So join us after the break for that desk.
Hey, it's me, Lily from AT&T. I'm back, working from home, and here to help.
Hey Lily, I'm hearing a lot about 5G. Should I be getting excited?
Depends. Are you gonna want faster speeds?
I will.
More reliability?
Oh, also yes.
Better response times?
Definitely.
Are you gonna be making sourdough bread?
Oh, is that 5G related?
No, it's just like, why is everyone making sourdough now? But yes, you're gonna want 5G.
AT&T is building 5G on America's best network. Visit att.com to learn more.
One step for our love, one giant leap for us. Together we'll light the night. I don't ask for much, your heart is enough. I never want to see you cry. Take me home for just one night. Promise I can make you feel alright. Take me home for just one night. Let me light the fire in your eyes. All night like we royalty. You and I, we were meant to be. Come with me, let me take you right there into the stars. All night like we royalty. You and I, we were meant to be. Come with me, let me take you right there into the stars. I feel so alive. Time just seems to fly whenever you're by my side. Baby, I'm here to stay. So cast your doubts away. Don't let your feelings hide. Take me home for just one night. Promise I can make you feel alright. Take me home for just one night. Let me light the fire in your eyes. All night like we're royalty. You and I, we were meant to be. Come with me, let me take you right there into the stars. All night like we're royalty. You and I, we were meant to be. Come with me, let me take you right there into the stars.
And it's complexity that does it in twos. Similar score lines across the board. 16-9 on Inferno and then a 16-8 on Dust 2, and they get it done. They do it convincingly. Moreover, the woes, the struggles, and all the trials and tribulations will continue for Mouse Sports. They did not look like themselves today, but that's not even really the story that I want to go off of. Really and truly, I'm sick of this whining, crying Mouse Sports soft story. I now want to focus on what Complexity's doing, how they're bringing it to the table, and how they're looking so damn good doing it. Welcome back to the Dreamhack Master Spring 2020. I'm joined by Potter, I'm joined by Halvor, and we are ready to talk a little bit of Counter. Did you guys expect that? Just curious.
Yeah.
All right, great.
I told you so. Like, come on, Trace.
I don't think that I would have expected that. I did expect Complexity to make this series competitive, but man, they outplayed Mousesports in every single way, outgunned them, out-strategized them, out-everything them. And I don't think anyone can honestly say that they expected this one-sided affair in this series coming into today.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And Halvor, that's kind of the weird beauty of this, right? Is like there's been so much progression or talk about, oh, what does Blame F bring to the team and where is Complexity now? But truth be told, this is where Complexity is now. They're beating up one of Mousesports and they are in Europe doing it.
Yeah, I know they are, and there doesn't seem to be any, I guess, doubt that this extended, whether it being voluntary or voluntarily or not, extended bootcamp in Europe has really been paying off for them. They're playing just way more consistent Counterstrike than what they did to start things off. So it's great to see.
Yes, it is. And in fact, we're going to get to talk to somebody from Complexity right here, right now. The ring means that Obo is on the line. And boy, are you looking crisp, not only in the server, but that camera is HD, my friend. How are you feeling?
Pretty good.
Yeah, just a normal day in the office. Look, man, did you expect to come in here today and beat up on Mousesports? Did you think that you were going to come in here today and just walk all over them?
Not really. We definitely knew that we can show up and play a good match like that, but we also know they're an amazing team, and we just gave it our all, and it worked out pretty well.
So, like, how has it been working out for you guys? Obviously, due to the current world situation and everything, you guys haven't had the opportunity to necessarily go back to NA and everything. You've been stuck in Europe. You've pretty much had just about the longest boot camp of all time. How have you guys dealt with it? Or, like, I'm assuming like it's easy to get on each other's nerves when you spend this much time together and everything. But how's the entire dynamic within the team, considering your situation?
Well, actually, all the European players are at their homes playing, and then me and Rush, since we don't have a home in Europe, we're playing from like a facility. So we pretty much just practice a lot, and I think it kind of benefited us so far.
Yeah, and Christine, I think you grab it from here, but I think that's just a testament to the experience that you guys are getting from being able to play so many different teams. Christine, what do you got for the band?
How do you feel, Obo, personally? Because you're just so young, and I'm sure this is the longest you've been away from a home environment, whether that be you're in Dallas or you're home with your parents. How are you feeling? Is this really foreign to you, or are you just fitting right in? Are you loving Denmark?
It's definitely pretty foreign to me. It's pretty difficult, but I'm still kind of grateful for like what's happening and like this team, and I believe in this team that we can definitely do great stuff. So that's kind of what motivates me.
Yeah, and what's very motivating is pistol rounds like the ones that you tend to have from time to time. Now, I'm not going to say who's called you this, but a gentleman by the name of Harry Russell has called you the NA Zipex. How do you feel about that?
I'll take that name, I guess.
That's not bad, right? That's pretty good. That's pretty solid. And just to kind of piggyback off of the question that Christine had, and it's not as much about, say, you, but how are your family taking this? How are things at home when it comes down to, yes, you're staying away for an extended amount of time, and obviously you believe in the project you're doing. Can you talk us through how the family life is?
Yeah, it's definitely difficult for both of us, myself and my family, but they support me, and they want me to do what I think is right, and they just can't wait for me to come home, I guess.
Such a wholesome dude, Obo. I really appreciate your time. Does anybody else have anything for this gentleman? Christine, Halvor, no? All right, sounds good. We'll let you out of here, Obo. Thank you. Again, congratulations. That's a big W to take, so we'll see you around.
Thank you.
Easy for Obo. That's the sentiment that they're going to be echoing throughout the band halls all over the world as Complexity do triumph over Mousesports. Let's talk a little bit about this game in depth, some more from the Mousesports side now. And I know I said I don't want any sad stories, I don't want any crying, any of the boo-boos and all that stuff. I want to talk about where Mousesports are now. What does the future look like after a loss like this?
I mean, the grind just kind of has to continue, right? For me, one of the things that surprised me, especially on Dust 2, is the fact that Complexity have pretty set tendencies in terms of how they actually enjoy playing, especially the T set of Dust 2. And it didn't really seem like Mousesports had picked up on that at all. Yeah, and I mean, if you're not going to be on par or at least, show up to start individually, then you have to make sure that your strategical part and tactical aspect of the game is going to be on point, and that didn't really seem to be the case in this one. So that's an oddity for me, because that's something you can do regardless of how you're feeling on the day.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. And it is really odd because it was so blatantly clear that Mouse Sports was ill prepared for this series coming in. Even going back to their second round anti-eco rounds, going all the way to Inferno, I thought it's so risky for Kerrigan to just have a Deagle and his mate in Frozen to just have a USPS. That's it. It sounded like overconfidence. They actually managed to win that round, but coming over to this Dust 2, it was the same storyline, just a bit of overconfidence coming to that second round, and then they get punished for it. Complexity, 4 spies, rushing up catwalk, and they just start snowballing from that point on. So it was a little bit of unpreparedness coming out of Mouse Sports, which is so sad for me to say for talking about such a top-notch team.
Yeah, and the weirdest part has been watching this trajectory. I mean, normally start talking about a trajectory as in going upwards, stonks, all that crap. I'm talking about how it's just simply gone down ever since. It would feel like, I think, the Ice Challenge around there in London at some point. It feels like it's kind of tapering into where's the bottom point for these guys? Where is the very, very bottom of the pit? And obviously they've just started this group, but where does it stop?
I don't think you're gonna have to look or wait too long until they've kind of reached their bottom level. Again, they're 5 talented individuals that should be able to deliver at, even for them, I guess a floor level that should still be enough to be a top 10 team in the world. And from there on out, obviously they can work on getting their consistency back and everything. I'm obviously a little bit curious as to how the entire dynamic with, I guess, Kerrigan's history as an in-game leader in teams is going to pan out, because if you go back to, TSM days or phase days and everything, all of these teams started out strong, had a bit of a dip, and never really recovered from it before, there were doubts about, the in-game leading or what have you, which eventually leads to a roster change. Now, seeing how this is Kerrigan's kind of hand-picked team, I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that history won't repeat itself. But I think this is the kind of similar slump as we've seen in Kerrigan's previous teams, where they kind of just have to revitalize and reinvent themselves a little bit before they'll be able to contend, at the very highest level and the level they know they can.
Speaking of competing at the highest level, here at the Dreamhack Master Spring 2020, we have just started this group. So perhaps we can pull up the groups themselves, or at least the group that we're in. That would be Group B for the EU side, and kind of take a look after our first match as to what to expect. I mean, obviously with Complexity picking up a big win right here, no pun intended, that leaves a big Mad Lions game to go on a little bit later. Now, where do we see this one sort of going? I think looking at it, you would say surface level, yeah, Mouse Sports, obviously, but that's just kind of taking a namesake for what it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
please go ahead, Halbert.
You have to be kind of, I guess,